Get yourself a...
In typical Urban Jungles Radio fashion, I've traveled to Lake Hopatcong, New Jersey, to bring you our local story about the snake on the lake.
Yo, I'm the C, the H to the R.
Lake Hopatcong is a small lakeside community located in northern New Jersey and allegedly the site of an occasionally spotted large snake said to be a green anaconda. A resident alerted local animal control to the possible existence of a large constrictor, and the local animal control officer, in return, sought out the help of Gerald Andrzejak, co-director of Common Sense for Animals, a local rescue group and self-described reptile expert. The place is very, very busy, and with water traffic and swimmers at literally every turn, this will cause the snake to seek somewhere more peaceful, definitely away from the crowds. The lake itself is the largest in the state of New Jersey. It offers plenty of escape routes for the snake and enough areas of seclusion that it should keep it far away from the shores of the lake, which are often frequented by young swimmers. In less than 8 weeks, the water and the surrounding areas will have chilled to levels which will prove fatal to the escaped tropical serpent, especially one like the green anaconda. In the meantime, there are plenty of wild muskrats, Canada geese, and large fish to keep this predator sated, even though it will likely be too unsettled to actually do any feeding. Urban Jungles Radio recently learned that Dale Sloat, the local animal control officer who was initially contacted by concerned residents on the scene, was scheduled for termination of his position as animal control. There's some speculation in the community that the animal could be purposely set free to put additional pressures on local officials. No known footage exists of the snake in question, and one local paper is even offering a $250 reward. We spoke with Gerald Andrzejak of Common Sense for Animals, who has been on the scene and on the hunt as one of the few humans that have been lucky enough to witness and attempt to capture the snake on the lake.
I mean, the thing was probably 10 feet, 15 feet away from me. Mm-hmm. When I was contacted by Animal Control, I actually had said to them that, I believe that's what this was. I really got no response to that. And then I confirmed it yesterday. But when I said that I thought it was an anaconda, I was immediately shut up. I was told immediately, you don't say that word, it's a large boa, and keep it at that.
I'm assuming the bottom line is here, it's kind of like a Jaws scenario where they're just trying to keep it quiet because it's such a popular recreation area?
I believe it's a popular recreation area. Everybody has seen, the movies, so of course, it throws mass panic. I think a lot of it was handled wrong. It puts me in a precarious situation because I have to go by what the laws are saying. Right. The officials tell me I have to do this, even though I can't. But if I don't keep my mouth shut, then I have all that problem.
That's crazy. Yeah, it does put you in a bad situation because it's like, here you are, you actually know what you're looking at, but you're being told to tell the public something else, and that's kind of crazy. But I mean, at this point, they have kind of owned that, right? They've accepted the fact that it's an anaconda, and from what I heard last, it's basically pandemonium going on over there right now. There's New Jersey Fish and Wildlife has showed up, and some other yahoos are showing up and are on the hunt now as well.
Well, the last report I got was until Fifth Game and Wildlife actually get better physical evidence, they're not going to do a thing.
That's crazy.
Wow.
What kind of physical evidence could they possibly hope for?
They want better pictures, evidence of the snake, and of course, you might even see a shed for 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
If that, because the big ones don't even really shed that often anymore. Right.
Well, I mean, if this thing has prime feeding conditions, you're looking at 3 to 4 weeks before you even see a shed. And that's being skeptical at best. I mean, you have a 10-day grace period between opaque and the actual shed. And then, this thing has got to grow big enough for the shed to even want to start happening.
Right.
You're not going to find feces because 99% of the time it's going to go in the water.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's out of the question. So I'm assuming they're just looking for a shed or something more physical, a better picture. But I mean, let's be honest. I'm not out there with a camera. I'm out there with a hook or.
Are there any actual pictures of the animal? Or video? Or is there any kind of?
There is a video.
Okay.
There is a video. It was released today.
Okay.
And actually, I wasn't the one that even wanted to release this information. The homeowner did.
Gotcha. Interesting.
So you think that the snake is hanging around this one particular area near this one home, or is it just you think he's moving around?
No, I triangulated this thing pretty closely to where I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And when I finally got in touch with the homeowner, I mean, it was literally spot on.
Craziness. So what is, assuming that they do catch this thing, which is now literally the proverbial needle in a haystack, what's going to happen to it?
Well, I contacted some of my zoological friends with local different various small zoos.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try to get it into one of those. Unfortunately, the first thing that's got to happen is it's got to go into a 7-day quarantine.
Right.
And that's state law.
Interesting. I mean, this is obviously, at this point, there's no question that it's somebody's probably dumped pet.
Oh, absolutely. And, people get these things. They don't realize what they're getting into. And then when it gets way too big or way too out of control, they just do stupid things with them, not realizing all the problems they're causing. I mean, this goes way beyond just dumping a snake in a lake. This is putting more legislation on the hobbyists, the serious herb keeper. It's putting people in danger, animals in danger. I mean, this is just an entire bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the irresponsible keepers that do this crap. The actual real, the people who actually love the animals, they are responsible.
Right.
You guys who go to the shows and just buy, stupid things because it's cool at the moment, those are the ones that put the serious hobbyists at risk.
Right. That's crazy. It's a shame. Yeah, it definitely is a shame. It's probably even just a result of the current legislation in place, because here in Jersey, as many people know, anacondas are illegal. So, I mean, This could be somebody who just kind of chickened out and was like, I got to get rid of this thing, and decided to stupidly dump it in, in a lake. I couldn't think of a worse place.
Options.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always options. But unfortunately, most people won't follow up on them because they're afraid of the backlash from the state of New Jersey.
Right. I mean, but you can go out of state to different rescues. I mean, you have options that the state wouldn't even find out if you went that route. This just puts everything in a horrible place.
Yeah.
Because we all know that now that the state is aware of what it is, I'm almost guaranteeing that at the moment they're trying to draw up a bill, to even reduce large keepers more, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, you're correct. I think the backlash is not going to be good for the responsible herpers out there, especially. Which is a shame, because it just takes one bad apple to kind of ruin everything for everybody.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bad situation.
Yeah.
And I wish people would just think this through. I mean, I work in rescue. I actually am an assistant director in an animal shelter. And I see this situation day in, day out, with just not herps, but also with cats, dogs, small animals, birds. I mean, I see, this is my life.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but they persecute the reptiles because they're not cute and fuzzy.
Right. Of course.
You know, they're like, oh, let's put another ban on, you know, big snakes, but what about these people who dump chihuahuas in shelters every day because they're moving and just don't want to take it with them?
Yep.
Which is a more common occurrence.
Yep. Leave them in abandoned buildings and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the feral cat problem in New Jersey.
Oh, God.
Don't even get us started on that
one. It's horrendous. I mean, that's public enemy number one as far as we're concerned, you know.
Right. I mean, but that's far more of a problem
Yep.
than responsible herp.
Yep. And they still allow, you know, TNR and stuff like that to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, I think I have about 150 cats in my possession.
Wow.
For the shelter. And they'll keep coming.
I'm sure, yeah.
So you tell me what's a worse situation. I mean,
well, forget the anaconda. You could put a chunk in it. You know, put a chunk in that cat population. I'm kidding. No. So, what's your game plan, man? I mean, I first of all, I gotta commend you because I know you're out there doing this pro bono. Basically, nobody's paying you, and you're not on commission from the state or anything like that. You're out there trying to catch this thing on your own. What's your plan? Are you going to keep heading out there and trying to get it, or I mean, at this point,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a do or die mentality. I plan on going out until either the state finally steps in and goes, you know what, get away, or I bring this thing in.
Have you not had any support from the state on this?
No.
It's crazy.
That's horrible. They call you in to take care of the situation, but yet they won't give you resources or help with this.
Well, I mean, they straight up told the homeowner, unless we find physical proof that this thing is here, we're not wasting our money or manpower.
Nice.
The state wastes so much more money on other, stupid things. Why not this?
Right. They'd rather waste the money on legislation versus actually doing something about it.
Yeah.
Craziness.
And you're doing it by yourself, right? You don't have anyone else helping you from your facility?
No. I'm the reptile specialist at Common Sense for Animals. I brought the reptile field into Common Sense for Animals.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, I don't want to say everybody else there is afraid of them, but this is not their bag. This is not their cup of tea.
Right.
I'm going out there on my own, using my money, my gas, blah, 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 which I don't care about.
Right.
I mean, I really don't. It's bringing safety back to the public. It's getting the snake out of the water and getting it safely somewhere where it can live out the rest of its life in the hands of a responsible keeper.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what I care about.
Now, how are you trying to track or catch? You mentioned earlier that you have a hook. I mean, what type of trap do you have set, if at all?
There's 3 buckets out there. They're garbage pails.
Okay.
Basically, what I'm doing is I'm creating a hide box / hotspot for first light and last light. So I'm hoping that first light, the thing goes in, it kind of gets warm. Where at that point you can go in and check the traps, and if it's actually using them, you can just turn it upright and you have the animal contained.
Right.
Which may or may not work, but I mean the reports say that the snake is there certain times in the morning, certain times at night. So literally Sunday, I leave work, I'm driving up to Lake Hopatcong, and I'm going to sit on the dock and wait for said time, hope it, decides it's going to take a swim, and at that point, so am I.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, literally, that's the plan.
Good luck, man. You have a daunting task ahead of you, and even more daunting is the fact that now that it's been announced that it's an anaconda, I think you're going to have yahoos from just about every corner of the state showing up trying to take this thing out.
Oh, I already have it. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Are you seeing other people out there looking for it?
Well, I was out there Thursday, and there must have been at least 20 boats cruising back and forth, which actually impeded me catching the snakes because as I was trying to get into the boathouse with my kayak, somebody came flying by in a speedboat. The wave knocked me into the door, which, at that point the snake took off.
No.
This is getting turned into a horror movie by Steven Spielberg, right? Good Lord. I can imagine it's just a pandemonium out there with all these people from everywhere showing up, trying to do the job. And oh my God, hopefully no one's going to get hurt and just make the situation worse, especially you, man.
Well, that's one of my biggest fears. My other fear is all these idiots out there in their power boats and they're searching and they're poking and everything else. The snake's going to go, you know what, I'm going somewhere quieter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is another possibility and another one of my fears because if it moves, this is the largest lake in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing has millions of gallons of water that it can literally just go to.
Yep.
Right now, it's still centralized, so we can, at least track it easier, find it easier. If the snake decides it's going to move on, it's waiting for the next report.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy. What about as far as winter comes? I mean, that's got to be some kind of a relief, I would think, at some point. If it does hang out until the winter time, I mean, I think winter would probably polish it off, no?
I believe so, but, I mean, me being who I am, I always think the other scenarios.
Like
and,
what?
I mean, if it got into somebody's basement, it got into well, yeah, seriously. But, I mean, if it got into somewhere where it can retain a temperature of 60 degrees or up,
yeah,
there's that possibility that it can stay alive.
Sure.
The likelihood of that, slim to none. The possibility that it happens, it could.
Right.
And I'll be honest, I wouldn't want to see that happen to a creature like this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the outcome will not be a good one.
No, I don't believe that. Most of the scenarios that I've played out here in my little brain that just keeps going and going and going, most of the scenarios that I've played out are not good ones for the snake.
Right.
I can see some idiot with a shotgun out there blasting into the water. I can see, somebody jumping in after it and, getting strangled or killed or, God knows what else. And, of course, that then puts publicity on the snake. I mean, it's just so many bad scenarios that can happen. And everybody's out there now playing, I want to be the next hero. I want to be the next, I want the next reality show. And it's not about that. It's about getting the snake out of the water and safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you ever thought about using the 150 cats as bait? No, I'm kidding.
You got yourself a snake. Get yourself a snake. Get yourself a snake. I got myself a snake. Yeah, I got myself a snake. Yeah. I got myself a snake. Yo, I'm the C, the H to the R-I-S. Nickname venomous, cause I eat through flesh. They ain't so sick, we call him poisonous. He's the D, the A to the N-N-Y. King of the tribe, that's Cobra Kai. Friday night is game tight, like Jordan game night. Top flight, hawk's eye, good guy. Many try, many die. Come at Danny if you want a war, get it bloody. That spells doom. When I first met him, he had an alligator in his fucking dorm room. Blog Talk Live podcast show, UJR, now the leader of conservation radio. Too much to process, he'll leave your head spinning. He donates to charities and protests spinning.